because I was playing with the screens, and I think I'm already streaming. But am I muted now? Okay. Can you hear me?
I can
Let's
hear
see.
you. Yes.
I don't know if everyone else can hear me. I hope they. Okay, I didn't have my mic close to my face, so because I'm a bit frazzled because I wanted to stream on LinkedIn at the same time and it didn't work. But never mind. Welcome everyone to my podcast, Ethical Hacking Guests and Wholesomeness. And before I introduce my guest, I wanted to start with. And why am I here? I was scared of public speaking, so I started a podcast. Makes sense, right? And I'm also yeah, I'm a penetration tester, certified with cover access. Uh, yeah, as a cover access specialist, physical auditor, elicitation specialist, I share those because I'm really interested in that topic, and I try to invite as many guests in that area as possible. And also, I got some awards in 2023. But actually, why am I here? Because, like the public speaking thing that I already mentioned, I wanted to share my knowledge and I don't know, be braver. Maybe someone would join the industry, be more inspired. And the third thing is yeah, to highlight people that are important to the industry, important to me, people that I think are like really cool or like I really like them for some reason, and yeah, that's why I created this. And also, last year I had like a lot of creative energy that I didn't really know where to put it in. So yeah, here we go. And and this is Katie Chambers. I wanted to introduce, like, welcome you on my podcast, and I want to ask you, could you introduce yourself to everyone because I think you would do it best.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, Kathy Chambers Media. I just launched that company last month. So I am a new entrepreneur and very excited to be here. When Dorota was giving her introduction, she said, I like to invite people on who are cool. So I'm hoping that I'm in the cool category. And I hope you guys have fun today listening to us chat. So thank you for the invite. I produce podcast videos, live events. But before I did that, I was at anti-siphon training with Black Hills Information Security with Dorota. So it's really good for us to be able to stay in touch and do things like this together. So great. It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm actually really, really happy that you're here. I'm still like checking the sound at the same time as I'm talking, so
That's okay.
multitasking. Okay, so but I'm really happy, and like you're like one of my favorite people in cybersecurity, to be honest. And if whenever I meet you in person on a conference, I know that up for like some nice hugs, like good conversations, some like new like wave of kindness coming my way. So I always like look forward to meeting you in person, and like yeah, always. Okay, sound is good. I'm really happy about this. Okay, you introduced yourself, so everyone knows who Katy is, but also I want to ask like more in details person. Maybe you like partially answered them, but can you tell us a bit about your background and how you became interested in producing content for cybersecurity leaders? And the next one is, who is Katy, and what makes her smile?
Oh, okay. Well, you make me smile, so that was an easy one.
Oh,
Yeah, I have a windy path, like a windy path into cyber and a very long history. So I don't want to bore everybody with it, so I'll keep it short and sweet. I started my career as a television news producer, and I was in TV news for more than a decade, and decided that um, I was gonna say slow down. I didn't slow down. It actually my world got faster, but in my mind, when I was leaving breaking news, that it was gonna kind of slow down a little bit. So I left TV news, went into academia. I worked for the University of Florida, where I was a director of media services. I was also an adjunct professor, also in production and news, and got introduced into field producing and doing promotional videos for the university. So that was a lot of fun. And so I went from producing live TV to field production. And I also did live events while I was there. So I got a whole new knowledge and a whole new set of skills. And I was there for 5 years. I tried to launch my own company in 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020. I launched my company, COVID hit, and I pretty much lost. I had like 3 contracts lined up, and I lost them all within like 2 weeks because of COVID. But because of all my experience and because of networking, which we will probably end up talking about at some point on this podcast, I was able to go right back to work. And so that's what I did. I went right back to work. And after, I don't know, it wasn't really that long, I got a phone call from IT Pro TV from a good friend of mine who I worked with at the University of Florida. And he's like, Kathy, we're launching a new product, and you're the one that we need to get it off the ground. I was like, okay, well, what do you need me to do? So just so you guys know, IT Pro TV is an IT training company. It ended up being acquired by ACI and is no longer. So that part's sad. But yes, we really loved IT Pro TV. So they did IT cyber training. Dorota took a lot of those courses for on demand. So yeah, I said, what do you need? And they said, well, we need a host for our audit content, because at this point they were launching a whole new audit product. And I had not been like on camera, on screen for probably, oh goodness, like 15 years at that point. Because I had like been a reporter way back in my younger days, but I had not been on screen for like 15 years or so. But it's just like riding a bike after a while, right? It took me a few episodes to get through, but I helped them launch an audit product. After recording, and I'm not exaggerating, I think it was over 200 episodes of audit content. I was really ready for something else. So I asked my boss at the time, I was like, is there anything I can host for IT Pro TV? And if you guys ever watch that content, it's a host and then an expert. And so I would be hosting with some of the popular instructors that you guys may have watched, like Ronnie Wong, Daniel Lowry, Wes Bryan. It's like, there anything I can do? And they said, well, we do have one new course coming up. It's called CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker. And if you want to host that, it's with Daniel Lowry. Well, Daniel and I were kind of like, I don't know, like acquaintances at the time, right before this. I mean, we weren't like buddy at the time before we started hosting together. But we definitely talked and joked around a lot, but we weren't like friends yet. Well, CEH, I don't know if any of you guys have been through that certification. Dorota, have you been through CEH?
No.
No, it's long. It's long. It's just like a huge amount of content that they shove all into the certification, which meant Daniel and I were together in the studio for hours and weeks. And when you're in a studio for that long, you have to joke around, you have to have a little fun just to keep your sanity. And so we did that, and we became, I'm going to say, best friends. I don't know if he knows that he's my best friend, but I'm going to claim him as one of my best friends. And so after that, like during the course, is my very first introduction into cybersecurity. So remember, I'm not the expert at this point. Like, I am just a host, and I ask him questions and I play like the student role in the studio. And I fell in love with it. I think if you ask me why I fell in love with cyber, I think a lot of it, well, all of it has to do with my background in news. I love breaking news still to this day. I'm a news junkie. Even though I don't work in the newsroom, I still watch it every day. And a lot of cyber, it's in the news every day. And there's also like this doom and gloom. And I like the doom and gloom side of news. Like, I'm a happy, positive person, but I also like the serious side of things when it comes to that and comes to journalism. So I fell in love with it, and I thought it was super cool. And afterwards, we launched a show together. I don't know how long you want to keep me talking, Dorota, but I can tell you about that too.
Go ahead.
If you would like. Okay.
Yay.
So yeah, because this was like the most fun part of my job. So I went to Daniel and I said, hey, I have this idea. I think that we should launch a show on cybersecurity. And I said, how do you think that would go best? And so it was me, Daniel, and Caleb, which was my director at the time. And we kind of got in a huddle. We're like, what would make a really good show? And I was like, well, first of all, we have to have an awesome guest. And Daniel's like, yeah, we have to have an awesome guest. And then he's like, I think we should just wing it. Like, it shouldn't be super formatted. And then Caleb's like, an awesome director. And he's like, yeah, we can do all these cool things and bring the questions up on the screen. And we can have lightning rounds. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so I asked Daniel, okay, well, who do I need to get to know in cyber? Like, if we're going to make this show work and people are going to watch it and want to watch it, who would I need to know? Well, he like, I've told this story before, but he like starts rattling off all these names. And he's like, well, you've got to know John Strand. You have to know Heath Adams. You have to know Tim Medine, Mike Saunders. And he just, first of all, I don't know any of these people. So, Dorota, I know a lot of those names sound familiar to you. One, John was our boss. So we know that one. But I didn't know any of these names. So I'm like frantically, he's like Naomi Buckwalter, like naming all, I'm frantically writing all these people down. And I was like, okay, so now all I have to do is get them on the show. So I didn't realize the cyber community at this point was so nice. I thought it was going to be just really difficult to get a lot of these people on air. And some people that I worked with thought the same. And they were like, well, good luck getting Tim Medine. Good luck getting John Strand. Do you know how busy they are? Blah, 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 blah. Well, I know some of you guys don't know me very well, but those who do know me, I was like, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
I will get all these people. And so, seriously, Dorota, I think like in 2 weeks, I had booked 10 of them, 10 of the names in 2 weeks because I was like relentless about it. I was like, when can you be on? Can you be on this date? Da, da, da. Like going back and forth through emails. And fortunately, they all said yes, which was amazing. And that was the start of how I began to know people, how I began to build my community. And it's just really awesome how it all came together. It didn't come together fast. Like the show came together fast. The networking took me to at least 2 years to get rolling.
But you said, unfortunately, they all said yes. Is that like,
Fortunately, they all said
fortunately?
yes.
Oh, maybe I
Yes,
misheard. Yeah.
fortunately. Well, I talk really fast, so anytime I need to clarify, let me know. But yeah, fortunately,
Yeah, yeah,
they
thank
all
you.
said yes. Yep.
Because I was still like waiting for like the why, unfortunately. Oh, okay, all good. But
No, they all said yes. It was great. It was great.
can you tell us what makes you smile? What makes you happy? Like outside of the of job
Outside of my
environment.
job,
Yeah.
I would say people make me happy. I think that we're all human, so we all need a break every once in a while. So it's not like I want to be surrounded by 50 to 100 people every day. But definitely, this is my first, when I got hired at Anti-Siphon Training, that was my first remote job. I had never worked fully remote before. And it was hard. Like, it was really hard. I didn't think it was going to be. Um, I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so awesome. Like, I don't have to drive to work every day. I don't have to put makeup on. I can wear my sweatpants all day. Like, I had this all planned out. And don't get me wrong, that is awesome. Like, that's super awesome. But not being around people sucks for me. I know a lot of you are like, yeah, this is like, I don't have to be around people. I need people like once a month at least. So that's what makes me smile. So when I go to a conference, especially now that I'm alone a lot, I'm not alone. I have a family, but you know what I mean. Now that I work
Mhm.
alone a lot, when I go to a conference, I'm like full on Kathy. Like when you said like, oh, I know I'm going to get a hug. Oh yeah, I'm hugging everybody because I haven't hugged anybody since that last conference. So I'm like going crazy, like, oh my gosh. And I'm like genuinely happy and
Yes.
genuinely happy to see everybody. Because that's just, those are kind, it just makes me happy being around people. I like people.
Thank you. I like you too. And yeah, it's nice. I like I just wanted from my own perspective, conference like it's like two sides of conferences for me. They're like really cool, and there's like a lot of people meeting new ones, and or like yeah, being introduced to someone that I didn't know before, or like people approaching me telling me that oh you were like the first person I contacted when I was entering cyber, and now I'm working at this and this. And like all those stories are like really, really cool. But on the other side, I'm like super overwhelmed. There's like a lot of people, a lot of noises, and Yeah, and sometimes I don't know how to behave. I don't catch social cues, and yeah, it's like, and get a migraine pretty quickly. So it's like two sides. But overall, it's awesome. But also, okay, I flew like 12 hours in here, and like I'm really tired. But I want to enjoy myself. But like most of all, I want to go to sleep. But I digress.
Yeah, I mean, I take breaks. If you guys ever needed some conference tips, um, I will walk away and take a break, and I will like Wildless Hacking Fest. So most of the time I am working the conference. So Simply CyberCon, which was back just this past November, like a month or so ago, that was the first conference I didn't have to work. Like that was the first conference that I went to and just got to enjoy being there and got to attend talks and got to talk to people afterwards. That was so cool. So I didn't feel like I needed a break then or that I needed to get away. But Wild West Hacking Fest, that's over that's a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of activities. So like I'll go eat lunch by myself. You know how everybody like eats lunch together. If there's a day and I'm feeling overwhelmed, I will go eat lunch by myself, or I'll just go outside and take a quick lap, you know, around because it's such a nice little small town. I'll just go kind of take a lap and then come back. So if you guys are going to conferences and you feel that way, like don't be afraid to step away. And you'll see that, like while you're out taking your little walk, you'll see somebody else, and you know that they're like, you know,
Oh,
that's like their time to take a breath. Yeah. And I'll just kind of leave people alone if I see them kind of wondering by themselves like that, because I'm like, okay, they need to step away, take a breath. So
that
it's, but it's
so
good.
me time is necessary.
Me time. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, but also like because I'm probably feeling that way because like presenting at like the conference that I'm going to. So it's like extra layer of pressure on top of everything. So maybe that explains because yeah, if I would just go on a conference to have fun, then probably yeah, it would be like less. So thank you for your like useful tips. I'm taking notes here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't and on that note, I have not presented at a conference. I'm in a PhD program part time. I kind of do that on the side, and I have to give talks in front of the class. And I I don't do a great job. When I was younger, I don't know what happened. But when I was younger, I used to love it. Like I minored in speech. I took acting classes. Like I loved it. And for some reason, now I'm older, getting in front of people is not the same as it used to be. And so I'm forcing myself, I'm taking a page out of Dorota's book, and I am forcing myself to apply to do some talks or submit. I don't think it's apply, but submit. And so I just submitted a CFP to B-Sides Tampa. Um, it's funny because it's one of the larger B-Sides. And I was like, of all the ones to pick, I picked the largest one. I think they had like 2,000 people there last year. And so I'm like, okay, go big or go home. Like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it at the biggest one and like see how it goes. So I
Yeah.
submitted a talk there for next year. Yeah, we'll see. And you know, if I don't get it, it's fine, right? But I
Yeah, you
can
tried. Yeah, so that's
I
what
tried.
matters.
I tried.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said
It'll be
yeah.
fun.
So that's the important part to just send the call for papers and like see what happens. You know.
Yeah. And then I'm like, well, if I get picked, whew, I don't know what it is. Like I used to love like, you know, and now it's like, I don't know, it's just different now. And it's funny because like while I'm talking like in front of the class and giving a presentation, I can literally like feel my voice like trembling, like I can tell. And while that is happening, I'm like, Kathy, what is wrong with you? You
Mhm.
love people. You love talking to people. Like, chill out. And probably like most of our talks in class are around 20 minutes. Like, toward the end of the 20 minutes, I'll start to get comfortable. But man, it takes me like that whole time. And it's probably because I'm kind of out of practice. Like, I don't do it. You know, I'm not as comfortable as I used to be doing that. So,
It's going to be
practice,
better.
practice,
And
practice.
before we start to talk about new thing, I wanted to say that sometimes I say those things to myself too, like Dorota, why are you like this, or something like that. But then I'm teaching myself to have only. I had like very very negative like self talk when I was a teenager, and now I'm like when I'm catching myself on like saying things like that, or oh you're so stupid, then take a step back, like in my head, and say, "No, Dorota, I didn't mean it. I apologize." So now I wish you apologize to Kathy because there's nothing wrong with you. You're amazing, and you're like you're there's everything wrong with you. Like yeah, everything right. Yeah,
So
everything
I
right.
have like it's funny because I have like I have a lot of confidence, right? Like if you were to tell me right now, like if you're like, Kathy, you suck, I'd be like, all right, bye. And I would just like go find a new friend. Like it wouldn't even like phase me. I would just, I'm fine. Like I love me and that's all that matters. But when I'm speaking, for some reason, I can't get that like same thought process. So I got a lot of work to do. I got some work.
It's a
But
process. Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
process. But you know what's funny is like if you put me like live TV, live television, I'm totally comfortable with that. Live podcast, totally comfortable. But I think it's like the audience is there and they're looking at you.
yeah, and
Or worse, they're not looking at you.
some
Like
of them
on
are
their cell phones.
yeah, some of them are like slowly leaving the room. When that happens, I get so
Yeah.
frazzled. Like, why stay? Oh.
You know what's funny? I forgot what podcast it was. Or who it was. It's somebody, I don't know. I don't want to say a name because I don't want to be wrong. But they said that if you go to a talk, okay, because you want to make the most of your conference experience. So if you go to a talk and within like the first 5 to 10 minutes, that talk doesn't relate to you or bring you value, then it's okay to get up. And I'm like, I totally disagree. Like, I I'm not getting up during your talk. Like, unless I have to pee or unless I get an emergency phone call, because I imagine myself speaking up there and people like slowly start to leave. No, no. I'm not gonna do that to you unless like so I had to do that a couple of times at Wild West Hacking Fest because I was working. So I would like go in and listen to a talk, but then I had to go work. And so then I would leave and go back to the booth. But like if I'm just there as a conference goer, I can't do it. I can't just leave a talk unless you like offend me or something. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
I sometimes when I like see that someone is like really nervous because I'm like mostly nervous like almost all of my like speaking engagements. I was a bit yeah, my voice was shaking. But and then I just stay and like cheer them on like, "Oh, you did a great job." Okay,
Oh, Kimberly says, I want that Kathy Man, Kimberly, you call me anytime. I'll see what I can do.
yeah.
So thank you, Kimberly. I see Tech Grunt in here. So those of you who came to join us, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys being here. I am so lucky. So when I got into the cyber community, you know how I said it took me like it took me 2 or 3 years to like get that community built up. Man, I really lucked out. Like I have like so many, I would call them my like cheerleaders or my fans. Like, and if I'm anywhere, they show up or they send me a message or they 100% keep me going. I couldn't imagine being in cybersecurity and not having the people I have around me. So thank you to those who showed up today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's also like a big deal for me because it's like a lot of people. But and to the point that you just shared, I have a question. Why do you think networking is important, and how can it help you with your career? I just wrote it down when you were talking about networking. Hope that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. And you'll hear, I feel like I'm gonna say a lot of same things that you've probably heard on other podcasts, but um I was networking long before it was cool, right? Or long before people really started talking about it. So back when social media and LinkedIn wasn't a thing, because I had went through I had two TV stations shut down on me. Like they come in and they say, "We are no longer operating. You can go home." That happened to me twice, twice, and almost a third time. So after the second time it happened, I sent out a an email because that's when we used to email. This wasn't a social media time. Like people were on social media, right? This was like in 2008, but it wasn't like that's what you do. And so I sent out an email to everybody that was in my program at college that I had went to school with, and I'm like, is anybody hiring? Anybody? Because it was like a terrible time in the U.S. People weren't hiring, and a lot of responses back said, "Oh, sorry, we're not hiring right now. We may be hiring, but it won't be until next year." And I got all these like just really sad responses. But one person emailed back, and she said, "What do you think about agriculture?" And I said, "I don't have any thoughts about agriculture. Like, I have no thoughts about agriculture." At that time, I was a sports producer. I was a sports TV producer at this time. And so she said, "What do you think about agriculture?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't have any thoughts about agriculture, but I also really need a job." And I was like, "Well, what is the job?" And she's like, "It's a reporter producer for an agricultural TV show." Well, TV's TV. The topics can be different, but TV's TV. And so I said, "Yeah, I would love to apply." And she said, "Great, I will be a reference for you if you want to apply to this job." And I was like, "Thank you." So they flew me down. This was at Oklahoma State University. They fly me down. It is an all day interview, like all day. Like, and they're like, "Here's a part of the interview, Dorota." They were like, "Here's a camera. Like, go shoot some video." Well, I hadn't shot video since college at that point because I'd always been a producer. The producer is the one that like writes the show and kind of works behind the scenes. They don't shoot video. And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't shot video since college." And I was like so nervous that it was like it was going to be bad video when I I brought it back. So anyway, so I went and I shot and I brought it back. The video was fine. Everything was fine. I ended up getting the job, but that's not the point. The point is that one person, right? I was networking with everybody. It was the one person who helped me get that job. And it was like a light bulb went off. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like what if I wouldn't have had that one person?" And I'm like, I need more than one person. Like I need like people, like multiple people. So from that point on, I like just started emailing people for really like, "Hey, I'm Kathy. I'm a news producer. I live here. Would love to meet you someday." And I wasn't looking for a job. I just knew that if I was to ever need another job, if I were to need one, I would need people to reach out to. And so I started doing that. Well, then LinkedIn came along and it was like this godsend. It was like, "Ah." I was like, "This is so awesome." Now I can network with people on like one platform, and it's just a professional platform. It wasn't like, Facebook. It was like we talked about business or whatever. And it was awesome. But I think having two stations shut down on me, only having one person offer me a job, like that was really eye opening. And I'm glad that it happened to me way back then, like before I had a family and everything, because now I've just spent like years, like 15 years or so, just making contacts and making connections. And in cyber security, as you probably know, I mean, it's huge. It is huge. Like every industry, it matters who you know. So some people are like, "Well, in cybersecurity, it matters who you know." Yeah, that's every industry. Like every industry. When I was in TV, it really matters who you know. So that's why networking is so important, because sometimes it's not just your skills, right? And I say that all the time. I was like, "Man, if I started my own business, okay, this was just last month, just launched. If it doesn't work out, now I have people to call in cyber, right? 3 years ago, I didn't have them. But now I have people to call. It's just important to have somebody there. And even if it's not a full-time job, just to have them help you for a few months is incredible. So that's why. That was a very long answer to what you asked me.
No, but it's good because I'm like learning from you as well. I'm like taking a mental note because I have so many collections on LinkedIn, but I'm like in my hermit mode still, and I'm like not really talking with like a lot of people. I just have like my inner circle of like I don't know, maybe 10 people maximum. But when I'm like out of a job and I need help, then yeah, I need contacts as well, like I need, like, come on. So I guess it's going to be maybe me trying to contact with like the people I have there, like start talking with them like more, because I know like a lot of people already likes me, but it's good. I'm really bad with like keeping in touch with people, like preserving the like the friendship and like the relationship in a way. So like I guess that's like, thank you for like sharing that, because I'm learning here too.
Yeah, you brought up a really good point. And when you said like I have those 10 people, I am the same way in that I have the Simply Cyber community are kind of those are my people. I'm representing today. I don't, Jerry Ozers probably doesn't have time to watch, but I'm representing today. Those are like my people. Okay. I was with that was my first real community of people was in Simply Cyber. But I don't have I didn't till recently have a lot of friends like outside of that. So this is going to take me to a whole other subject. But so I'm setting up Jerry has contracted me to work with Simply Cyber, okay? So part of my contract is to set up workshops and webinars for Simply Cyber. So I said, "Hey, I'm happy to take that on. I know people." So I'm like writing down people who I know. And I tell Kimberly, I'm like, "I don't have any women on my list." Like, I mean, I had like two or three, but Dorota, you probably know that. It's like the same two or three that we always see, right? Like
Yeah.
we always see these same two and three women. And which they're all amazing and I love them all. But I was like, wow, I can't believe I only have I was embarrassed because I as a female have not done a good job with making other female friends because all the awesome guys that I hang out with in cyber are just kind of they're always there, they're always putting themselves out there, they're always doing webinars, they're always on podcasts, they're always doing they just put themselves out there more than we do. And I was like, oh, so I do this post, okay, like and I know you saw it. I'm like, hey, I just realized I've been really crappy at this. I don't have enough women in cyber in my life. Like not even close. Like it's sad, right? And Dorota, I expected like 3 people to respond. Like that's all I wasn't expecting like a ton of people. I had 25 DMs within like the first 2 hours of that post.
Nice.
And I was like, what? Right? I just made 25 new friends. Right? I had no idea. And then we had oh, do you have a question? Or are you
No,
raising your
no.
hand?
Yeah, I have my like, well, actually moment here, because I just wanted to say like quickly that you share your like experiences on LinkedIn with your picture. Sometimes like there's your selfie and like description, and just wanted to say that we love you, although you may not know, but we love you, and that's why when you share it, so many people, oh, I have my chance, So probably that's what happened.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. Thank you so much. I just think that I haven't done a good job like purposely like reaching out to other ladies. And so yeah, I was just like, "Oh my gosh." And then I told Jerry, I'm like, "Dude, I feel like this is like a sign. Like this is like a slap in the face, not even a sign." It's like, what am I doing? Right. And I have all this experience with TV producing and podcast producing. And so then that's why I'm going to start my own podcast next year. And season one, just season one, not forever, but season one is going to highlight all the women in cybersecurity. And I'm really trying to highlight women that we don't see every day to help put them on the platform, to help them feel more comfortable on podcasts, to help get them more talks, right? Because a lot of people get invited to speak after they're seen on a webinar or podcast, because that's how I find my people as a producer. I will see you on a webinar and I'm like, oh man, she's good. And I immediately email you and I say, hey, when can you be on the podcast, right? Like that's how I find people. And that's how conference people find people is through that. But if you are not putting yourself out there, you're not going to be found. Right. And so,
Exactly.
like, I'm going to take all these ladies and, like, here you go. Here is your platform. Let's get you seen. Let's get you out there. And, publicly apologizing to everybody for not talking to everybody more. And I'm just going to try to do a better job. Yeah.
Uh, good luck with that, and I believe you will do an amazing job with that. And my next question is, uh, yeah, okay. Which one is it? Okay, on your LinkedIn, you shared an Emmy-winning producer. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so that was oh man, I'm trying to think of the year. I'm to the age now where I like forgetting years. 2009, I think, or 2010. I was working for a statewide television network in Ohio, and the meteorologist was like, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go to Antarctica, and I'm going to do all these research stories while I'm in Antarctica, and I want you to produce the show. I want you to be the producer for the final product." And I was like, "Okay," and he's like, "I think if we do it right, we can win an Emmy from this." And I hadn't won an Emmy, but I also hadn't entered to win an Emmy. I think maybe one other time I had entered, and I actually got I was a finalist, but I didn't win. So I was like, okay. And so I did it, and we won, and that was like a super cool experience. I don't. So when you go to any of these award ceremonies, this is kind of just insider stuff. You have to pay to go to the ceremony. So you pay to go to the ceremony, and then to find out if you won or not. They don't tell you ahead of time. So you spend like hundreds of dollars on like a hotel room and dinner to hope that you win, right? So this time I actually spent the money. It was worthwhile, and I won, and I was super excited. But that was back in my news days when I felt like I had a lot of opportunities back then to do cool things like that. And I'm hoping with my new business that I will still have kind of those same opportunities because now I get to create what I want to create. The thing is finding time, which is a whole other topic of starting your own business and work life balance and all that kind of stuff. So
What an amazing story that was. Thank you. Uh, I don't know why am I frazzled. I was reading the chat for a moment there, but okay. Uh, what was the idea behind creating Katie Chambers Media LLC? How did you get started with that? Like, what inspired you to create?
well, I've been talking about it for a really long time. Like I had said, I tried to start my own company in 2020. It didn't work out. And then for years, I have a friend, her name's Allison, and I talk to her about it constantly. She's probably tired of me talking about it. So I was like, because she's an incredible documentary filmmaker. And so I'm like, when I get my own company, we're going to work together. I'm going to hire you and we're going to be partners. And like, I mean, for years I've been talking about it. So it's like I finally did it. And if you are asking like what my defining moment was, I was working for anti-siphon training as a project manager. And we did webinars and stuff like that, but that wasn't my job, right? That's not what I was hired to do. I was hired to be a project manager. I'm very good at being a project manager. But I missed media like so much. It was getting to be like every day, that's all I could think about. It's like every day I was like, I could be doing a podcast, I could be doing webinars, I could be doing videos, I could be doing live events. And like, I just was constantly thinking about it so much so that I was like, I can't, it's hard to go to work every day when you're thinking about your dreams, right? And I'm not old, but I am old enough to where I'm either going to do it or I'm not, right? Like it's either now or never. That's how I felt at that moment.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I was like, I'm going to do it now. And back to the point of networking, and somebody wrote in there, it's not networking, it's making friends, which is so true. Um, Back to my friends. If it doesn't work out, I hope it works out, right? But if it doesn't, I now have like this whole community to go to. And hopefully I always joke that hopefully somebody will take me in. I always say that. Hopefully if I'm out on the street and holding up, please hire me signs that somebody will take me in. So I just thought it was like a good time to act.
I think like with your personality, you'll be a great hire for any company. So I'm sure someone will like take you. But I do also believe that you'll be very successful at your job because you're a very charismatic person and you really know what you're doing. You like it. You're good at it. So why do you think it? Yeah, it's going to work. Period. It's like no other option there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
I
And my
appreciate
next,
it.
of course. And the next question is, what do you think is the most important thing for companies to focus on when it comes to creating effective content?
I think I don't want to sound cliche. I even named my podcast this, but got to be authentic in your messaging because people don't buy products. Like people buy from people. That is why influencer marketing is so huge, right? You like follow somebody and they're like showing TikTok is like a perfect example. So like I'm scrolling through TikTok and like there's this girl showing like some outfit that she just bought and I like her, right? I'm like, she's so fun. Oh my gosh. And then I just buy it. Like, why? I don't need it. But I 100% bought it because I like the influencer. It's not so much about the product. And I think that yes, with cybersecurity, the products and the software, I mean, it's very serious. 100%. It needs to be a good product, but they also need to know like who you are because people will buy from you a lot faster if they know who you are. So when I say being authentic, it's not like your CEO comes on and you can tell he's reading from a teleprompter. And he's like, this is a really great product because we have affected 1 million lives and right? We don't want to hear that. We want to know who you are. Like, who are you? Why did you build your company? Why do you think it's successful? Why do you think you're truly helping people? We want to know that you're just not trying to take our money. You're not just worried about the bottom line. You're actually worried about helping people. And that's to me, I always say it's an easy sell. It's an easy sell. It's not easy when I say that. I just mean like that is what attracts people to purchase from you or to read your blog or to watch your podcast is like you got to be yourself. Even major companies need to be themselves.
Yeah, like so I will share something personal right now. I was masking for a lot of years, and I was like trying to fit into like what I thought other people wanted me to be, like to for them to like me. But then I realized, I hope I will not get canceled, but fuck that. And I just want to be myself, and well, whoever stays, then they will stay, and whoever leaves, you know, the door is open, like no one is keeping anyone here by force. So I think that's so very important to be just true to yourself and like be who you are and like in your heart and be like the most like genuine person you can be. Like I think that's the point of life. Like that's why we are here, not to pretend and like I don't know, wear a mask all your life, but to be yourself and to create something into the world, like make it a little bit better than it was when you came here, and create something that I don't know, leave something behind, like from your own like heart. Yeah, like I don't know what I don't know what I'm saying here anymore, but I hope you guys understood what I'm trying to
Yeah,
communicate.
I think it's just so boring being the same, right? Like that's so boring. Like when somebody was like, "What can I do to be better on LinkedIn or be better on my podcast or whatever?" I'm like, "Don't be boring. Like don't be boring." And I and what I mean by that is just kind of be yourself and have fun and like don't have to be so serious about everything all the time. There are times to be serious, right? I had said at the beginning of this podcast like I love serious news. I love to talk about it, I love to produce it, but on the flip side of that, I also really like to have fun. And so I think that's important to incorporate that in your life. What you were saying, I don't want to skip giving this important PSA, but I spent the first part of my career trying to fit in to what a news director expected the producer to be. Okay, I am not that person. I am loud. I am honest. I will tell you the truth all the time. And there are some bosses who appreciate that. There are some bosses who are like, I love that Kathy's so honest and tells her mind, speaks her mind, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of bosses hate that. Like they hate it. So I tried to off and on throughout my career be like, okay, Kathy, don't speak up in this meeting. Don't say how you truly feel. If you do say how you truly feel, make sure you put a spin on it so that you don't offend anybody in the room. Make sure that you watch your tone. Make sure that you're not so loud or whatever. It got to be so bad, like when I won't name the place, but there was one place I was working at that my boss was like afraid to send me to certain meetings because he was worried about what I would say. Now, some of you know me are like, oh, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. But in that particular setting, what you say and how you present and how you act is so much more important than all of your skills. Like it
Yeah.
did not matter how awesome I was. That did not matter. They didn't like me. So it was at that point, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to be me from here on out. And everybody that hires me in the interview, I'm going to say, this is who I am. And I want you to know that before you hire me. Because if me speaking
I
up
love
or
it.
me being honest or me being loud or me working fast or me, if any of that, you think that's going to be a problem, don't hire me. Please don't hire me because that is who I am. Now, I have been super fortunate that they've worked for the past couple of jobs that they didn't care that that's who I was, right? Like, cool, that's who you are. Awesome, right? But prior to those two jobs, it was brutal. It was brutal. I felt like I was in the principal's office all the time. Like, you get sent to the principal's office, that was me. Like, why did you say that? I'm like, because it's the truth. Well, you don't have to say it. You don't always have to say the truth.
What?
And this is why I don't belong in corporate. Oh, I can't. I can't. And then you have the leaders who say to you, um, we always want you, we have an open door policy. We want you to come to us anytime. Whatever. I'm going to tell you right now, that is not true. That is not always true. Sometimes you have an open door policy. You use the open door and you tell them something and it backfires on you. Right? Those are the places you do not you do not want to work for. Run. Like you do not want to be in that environment.
Or
So, anyway.
they sometimes have the open door policy just on paper, just to see, okay, we are legit, we are a good company, good working environment, but it's just like for show, and it's like really toxic, and like yeah, everything is on duct tape. So that yeah,
Yeah.
that is a sad work environment.
Right. I kind of went on a little pedestal there. I kind of the whole point of what I was trying to say is please be yourself.
Yeah.
And, the whole old saying, like, find your people. I have never believed that so much in my life. Like, I find my people now. And to what I was saying earlier about
That's
the
so
whole
important.
confidence, it is so
Yeah.
important. And it's the same thing as when I said, if you told me I suck, I'd be like, okay, cool. And I would just go find other people. Like, that's where I am in my life. Like, you either like me or you don't. Love it or take it. Like, love it or leave it. Cool. Like, I don't know. I think it's so empowering to be at this stage in my life. Like, to finally be like, I don't care what you think about me. This is who I am. And I have found my people. Shout out to Team SC. I see a lot of them in the chat. I see Mara is there. Hi, Mara. Um, those are like my people, right? They know how I am.
Yeah, but
Still
that's
here.
very important. Yes, yeah, that's very important. Yeah, and those people will build you up, and like yeah, and that's who you need in your environment. So now I will ask you, like, focus and like bear with me, because I will ask you a very long question, and actually it'll be like three questions, so you
Oh,
can
okay.
answer however you want. But yeah, can you talk about the importance of building a community around your content? How do you measure success when it comes to engagement with your audience? How do you encourage feedback and conversation among your listeners? And what tools or strategies do you use to facilitate that?
Goodness, Dorota.
Sorry.
Is that all? No, just
Yeah,
kidding.
for now.
Yeah, building content. So here's what's fun about I'm going to use LinkedIn because that's really the only
Hmm.
platform I am on. I am on other platforms, obviously, but LinkedIn's the one I use for professional network. Facebook's like for family. But yeah, so totally talking about LinkedIn here. every time I do, and I still have to do these kind of posts. I say I'm promoting a course for somebody, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Daniel Lowry's course just dropped in InfoSat Pat's library. Here's the link. Da 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 da. Okay, I get like 10, 10 likes, right? Maybe 10 likes, one comment. It has nothing to do with Daniel or Pat Gorman, right? It has nothing to do with like, they're like, ooh, I'm not going to like those guys. It's nothing to do with that. It's because it's like a product or it's like an ad. People don't interact with that on any platform, really, right? It's just another ad. And maybe they'll see it and maybe they'll be like, oh, well, that's cool, right? And then like other courses, like I'm going to use like OSINT Michelle Kahn's course, right? Like it's super popular. So even if you drop that, same kind of thing, right? But here's what's different. Let's say we don't drop an ad for Michelle Kahn. We're not going to do a graphic, but we're going to ask Michelle Kahn to come on the show. We are going to cut shorts from the interview he just did, and we're going to ask him to give like his take on something, and then we're going to post that on social media. Okay, well then all of a sudden it's like blowing up, not because it's video, but because it's like really him. It's authentic. It's not an ad. Like you're actually learning something. You actually engage in it. You can actually respond to it. And so, like, I just wish you can't not promote your product. Like you have to have the graphic and you have to tell people when things are launching. But that's not what gets engagement. So when you say like that you like when I post a picture, I don't really like posting a picture of myself all the time. But I do it because one, I want you to know it's really me. This is what I look like at 4 a.m. Like I posted a picture that like I can't believe I even posted that. But this is what I look like at 4 a.m. I've been studying all night because people relate to that. Like that's the kind of content that gets people to engage with you because I don't know, crazy, we're real people. We need real connections. So that's what I encourage people to do. Now, as a company, it's a little harder because you do have to talk about your product. Um, oh my gosh, I can't think of his name right now. Danny?
So
Um,
while you're
oh,
like
go ahead.
thinking, I just wanted to say that it's like a bit maybe funny and maybe like ironic that you were just talking about ads and people that were like in the chat without the premium subscription just had like a minute of ads
Oh.
there. And so I wanted to apologize for that. Twitch does have ads sometimes. And I don't know when.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. So when you say building your content, I focus on who I really am, how I'm feeling that day. And there may be people who don't like it, right? Well, then those people don't have to follow me. So that goes back to like the engagement. So I don't have near the number of followers you have, Dorota, because you have also done a very good job of like putting yourself out there. Um, so I don't have that amount of followers, but the followers I do have often engage on my post. So that goes to like, it doesn't, there's some people that have 80,000 and up followers, right? Like you see like all these, they have like a million followers. But how many people are actually of those million are engaging with things that you post? Because that to me is more important. When you say, how do you measure success? That's how I measure success. Like, did they engage with it? When I launch my podcast, are people going to actually show up and watch? Right? Like, how do I get people there? And how do I, that's how I, see how I'm doing with engagement or whatever. But I am not a marketer in the sense of like, I'm not looking at numbers every day. I am not like, what's my ROI? Like, I'm not. I just want to be happy and I want to put content out there that helps people. And
I love that.
sometimes, yeah, and selfishly, sometimes it's not always about helping people, but it's helping myself. Sometimes I post what I'm going through because I just needed to tell somebody, and I'm in these four walls all day, right? Like, who am I going to tell? And my poor husband, he listens to my stories all the time, right? So sometimes it's just me like putting this is what I'm going through and hoping that somebody's going through the same, and that we can connect and relate, and then I can make a new friend in that way.
Okay, my next question is from the chat actually.
Excuse
Uh,
me.
and thank you for answering. And also, like, I share on LinkedIn in the same way when I feel something, and it's mostly from my heart. It's not like, I don't know, AI or like something that I should be talking about. It's like from my heart mostly, and because I want to help people. And so the next question is, how do you get past imposter syndrome? That's a very important one, I think.
Yeah, this is hard for me to answer. I fully transparent, like I haven't really had to deal with that a lot. That's why it's hard for me to answer because I had never heard imposter syndrome so much in my life until I got into cybersecurity. And then I start meeting all these experts who are like, well, it's really hard for me because I never think I'm good enough. And I'm like, what? You don't think you're good? Like, if you don't think you're good enough, then what about the rest of us? These
Yeah,
are like
exactly.
these are like experts in the field, right? And they have these really big jobs for these really big companies. And they're like, I deal with imposter syndrome. And I, to be honest, I don't have a lot of advice for it because like I don't get that, right? I came from TV where everybody loves themselves in TV almost to a fault, like almost to like it's kind of annoying, right? You meet all these anchors and stuff on TV who think they're the greatest things. Um, so the
Yeah.
whole I don't get it. Now in cybersecurity, I'm not a cybersecurity practitioner. Okay. So I'm on the communications side of things. So when I'm on a show, like when I'm on jaw jacking with Simply Cyber and somebody asks a question about pen testing or whatever, I can't answer that. But you know what happens? I just tell people I can't answer that. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I just say, this isn't what I do. Now, if you want to talk about communications and messaging and like putting cool videos together and doing podcasts, uh, hit me up. You know, but I'm not going to walk you through red teaming. But I tell you what, like I was saying this earlier on the show this morning, because I listen to so many podcasts and so many interviews, I can bullshit my way through a conversation, especially when it comes to like stuff like that, because I listen to so many answers, right? So I'm gonna give you an example. So Michelle Kahn was on Thirsty Thursdays with InfoSec Pat last night. Okay. And it was a whole podcast on OSINT and it was amazing. If you guys haven't watched it, I encourage you to go back and watch it. It's really good. And so I've seen Michelle Kahn on, I watch everything he does. But last night there were some things he said that I hadn't heard him say before. And so today, fast forward to this morning on Simply Cyber, somebody asked a question like, is OSINT pen testing? I didn't answer it because I'm not a practitioner, but I could have answered it. I could have 100% answered it because I heard everything Michelle Kahn said. It's just an example of like how much knowledge that you can pick up just from listening to
Yeah, exactly.
podcasts, right? So I would say, well, Michelle Kahn says XYZ. But like it makes me sound really smart. It's not that I'm really smart. I just really love to listen and learn. And
Having
that
fun.
has nothing to do with it. Yeah, I really love to listen and learn. And so I know all kinds of random stuff. Yeah, I was joking that I could talk my way into like a GRC job or something because I watch all of Jerry's videos. I'm like, I could probably talk my way into the job.
Yeah, you probably like a half pen tester because you spend so much time with Daniel Laurie as well. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, good. Throw me in, coach.
So like from my take on imposter syndrome is like what I believe is we like imposter syndrome is what intelligent people like how to put it in words. I will put it how I think, and like if it doesn't come right, I just apologize. But I think very intelligent people have imposter syndrome because we do realize how much more we could learn still, and we haven't yet. But there's like only limited time in our lives that we have, so we have to be selective. And people that don't have imposter syndrome, like they're probably, I don't know, they don't maybe don't have the urge to learn so much. I don't know, because I do. I have like I want to learn so much, and like if there's like a day that you haven't learned anything, even like I don't know, character building things or something outside of cyber, or maybe like cooking a lemon pie or something. I'm learning something. I'm happy. It was a good day. So yeah, that's what I believe imposter syndrome is. That was like the
I yeah, I think it's a confidence thing. Like 100%. Like I mean, I see what you're saying about the learning, but it's also like, do you have enough confidence in what you're talking about at that particular moment?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Um, like, why do you have imposter syndrome when you're talking about something you literally do for a living?
Yeah, but
This is just
I
me. This is just
sometimes
like, yeah,
I sometimes have this. I do have a lot of knowledge, but I do not feel confident enough to talk about it because I know the other person is maybe smarter than me, and then I feel, oh, but I don't know if it's like a meeting or so like a woman thing. I don't know what is that about, but maybe you're right because I'm still like trying to overcome my shyness and like build my confidence, and so I'm not like John Strand. Like he walks into the room,
nobody's
he's
John
very,
Strand.
he's charismatic. He's like
He's
so
like his own person.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Here's my
it's like
thing.
no point of comparing
Yeah,
yourself to other people.
right.
I'm myself.
And
So
like,
yeah,
yeah, I always think that there's always going to be somebody smarter than you, and there's always going to be somebody better than you. And
and you can learn from them. So that's good.
right. And like, I always joke, like, those are the people I surround myself with, and those are the people I hire. Right. So somebody like asked me to take on an editing job. I'm like, well, I can edit. Okay. I can edit a video, I can edit a podcast, but I'm not an editor, because an editor is like a whole 10 levels above me. Like, they can do so many more cool things with video than I have the time to do. Right. Now, could I be? This is where imposter syndrome, this is where people this is where I think some of that comes in. Some people would say I could never learn that, right? I would say, like, I could never be Daniel Lowry. Well, that's BS. I could be him, I just don't want to be him. This is where my mindset's so different. I could study pen testing, I could get certified, I just don't, that's not my jam, that's not what I want to do. Right.
Yeah,
So there, the only thing I would say that to is like, I I am confident that I could never be a neurosurgeon. I could never be a neurosurgeon.
that's fair.
Okay, that's fair, right? But if you say a job, like a job that anybody can learn, I'm just like, okay, well, yeah. You know, some people are like, I could never be Michelle Khan. Yeah, you could, right? First of all, take all his courses, like, study more, like, you know, I don't know. That's where I'm like, I don't know
But also like
if you,
what I believe is like if you have this mindset of I could never be this, then then I think that's what's going to happen because that's what you believe in.
right.
But
That's what you believe. Yeah,
if you believe I can absolutely do it, I just have to sit my butt on the chair and start learning. So that's what you do. You create a plan, start learning, and then you become something that you wanted. And like sometimes, like
right,
not
right.
the next day, but yeah, you have to put effort in it.
Yeah, it's not, you have to change from never, or do you really want it? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted to do it, I would do it, right? I just don't want to do that. Like, I admire people who do pen testing. I admire people who, but on the flip side of that, like, I've got to talk more, right? And I got to talk more. When we go through like what an engagement is, and you say, Kathy, what do you think is the most exciting part of pen testing? I would 100% say the report and talking to the client after. Now, you talk to people who are super technical, they're like, I hate the reports and I don't want to talk to the client. Like, I don't want to do the reports, so boring. I'm like, what? Sign me up for a report any day. Put me in front of the client. That's where I feel comfortable. I guess it's just a different mindset.
Yeah, it's also like maybe there should be like separated. So the technical people just do the techie stuff, and then another person works with them and creates a report as they go and translates it to business language. So they will talk to the client. That will be a dream job for me. But yeah, because I do like reporting, but I wouldn't say I thought I'm good at it, but it turns out I'm really struggling with it. So yeah, it's a journey, I guess. But thank you for sharing that. And my next question is, what trends are you seeing in the cybersecurity industry right now, and how do you think they'll impact content creation in the next year or two?
Yeah, I mean, we hear that all the time about AI, AI. I have my personal take on AI. Here's my take. If it is like standard marketing copy and AI is going to save you hours of writing, I use it.
Yeah.
So the people who get on LinkedIn and they're like, I hate AI, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm like, okay, well, what did they use it for? This is just for content, by the way, guys, not for like what people use it for cyber. It's just for content creation. I'm like, what did they use it for? Did they use it to make a product announcement? Did they use it to say, hey, I'm speaking at B-Sides next week? Like, what did they use it for? Because if they used it for stuff like that, I don't care that you used AI. I don't need your special touch. I just need to know when you're speaking and if I can attend, right? Like I don't need this like authentic message. Now, if you portray it to be an authentic message, then make it authentic. But for like marketing copy, like literally, I write a lot of marketing copy now, and I am from a journalistic background where that is not acceptable, right? You do not use that. That's not acceptable. Like, so it was really hard for me to go from being a journalist to using AI. Like that was super hard. Marketing is not journalism, right? Like I don't know. This is me being up on my pedestal again. If it's marketing copy, I say use it. If you need an outline for a YouTube video, use it. But when you're doing the YouTube video, 100%, please speak about what you know. Like don't fake it. Like, like that's where authenticity comes in, is sharing the knowledge that you actually know and being yourself. But when you're using AI for outlines, marketing copy, whatever, I say go for it. Like 100%. Like why am I spending hours trying to think of like how this should be formatted? That's so silly. AI can do it for you, right? Like I don't know. When it comes to content creation, I don't care. You can use AI. Go for it. That's my biggest trend.
I mean,
Um,
AI
yeah.
is a tool, so use it to your advantage. I think that's it's the take, I guess, here. Next question is a bit weird, but just bear with me. How do you stay ahead of the curve when it comes to emerging threats and technologies? Can you give us any insights of what we should be paying attention to? I mean AI, but like maybe you have other.
Well, I mean, I know I keep saying this. I'm not in cybersecurity as like you are. But because I am talking to people in cyber, because I am interviewing people in cyber, I have to know what I'm saying. Um, I mean, I will be honest when I don't know something, but I can't go into an interview or into a client call and not know anything. I've got to know something. So I, of course, listen to Daily Cyber Threat Brief every morning. I read the Hacker News. I read Security Week. Um, Anytime somebody's on a podcast, I listen to it. Now, if you say, "Well, Kathy, how do you do that? How do you have time to do that?" It's my background noise, right? Like, I know I'm not always engaged at 8 a.m. because I'm working, but I have it on in the background. And you'll be amazed just from having the noise on in the background, little things that you pick up. And if they say something super cool, I will stop and then I will listen or whatever. But there's so much I know just from that. Like start your day, read through the news, put a podcast on in the background and work. And you'll be amazed like how much that you pick up through that. So that's what I do. That's how I stay on top of things. That way, back to networking and making friends. When you go to Wild West Hacking Fest, this is like I think Kimberly mentioned this about how you're always surrounded by brilliant people. It is literally like being dropped in a sea of nerds and all these brilliant people around you, like everywhere. Okay. I don't know what they know, right? I don't know what they know. But because I do read the news and listen to podcasts, etc., I can at least engage in the conversation. Or I can ask an intelligent question where 4 years ago, there's no way I could even hold a conversation or ask. Or if you told me you're red team, blue team, I couldn't tell you the difference, right? Like, because I knew nothing. I like came in absolutely ground zero. I knew nothing. But now I know just enough. So if you're new to cyber, say you've only been in it for a year, start doing that. Start reading the news, start listening to podcasts, watch everybody's interview. And then when you go to a B-Sides or you go to a bigger conference, at least you can either kind of understand what they're saying or ask the right questions. But if you go in there with no knowledge, that's not going to be helpful in your networking journey. So It's
Yeah,
just a thing.
make your research. It's a very good. Yeah, I have this problem that I do have to have complete silence to focus on work. So I don't know, it doesn't always work for me, but sometimes when I'm taking like a break or I'm just cooking something, it's like a good background. Yeah, it's a good thing to listen. Apparently, Darknet Diaries is my favorite podcast on Spotify because I was listening to to that a lot. Even when went like ice skating on the rink, I was instead of music. I had on my headphones and listened to Darknet Diaries because
It's a good
I
show. It's
yeah,
good.
I wanted to like create a presentation and was looking for like inspiration like in the podcast and yeah. But to the point, my next question is yeah. What advice would you give to cybersecurity leaders who are just starting with content creation? Where should they begin?
Mm. If you're a cybersecurity leader, you probably don't have a lot of time to think about content creation. I think the first thing you do is hire a team that does know about content creation. And like lean on your team and make sure that you're telling the team that you want this in your voice, in your back to being authentic. And why did that person start the business? Why did you want to be a CEO of that company? Like what was it? And make sure that you're portraying the message about why you think the company's valuable. Not to be all cheesy, but like from your heart, right? When you make a decision, like, and you sat down with your family at dinner and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about taking this job." Like, what was that decision that made you take that job? And make sure that you are portraying that tone and that feel and all of your messaging. And I couldn't believe I forgot his name earlier. I think a person that does this best is Danny Jenkins. He's the CEO of ThreatLocker. Um, I had told Jerry Ozier because ThreatLocker is one of his sponsors, and he did an interview with Danny. I was like, Danny's awesome because he's such himself, and you can feel it like while he's being interviewed that he truly means what he's saying, and he's not just saying it because he has CEO behind his name. I think that he's like a really good person if you are a cyber leader to follow and to watch like his messaging and how he does interviews. I think it's really, really solid.
I'm taking notes. Maybe I will invite him. Fingers crossed.
Yes, he's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, next one is, and thank you for answering. Are there any specific takeaways or insights that you'd like our listeners to walk away with after hearing this episode?
Oh wow. I mean, once again, I know everything I say sounds like that it should be like on a poster board or like a meme or something, but like the whole be yourself. 100% be yourself and make sure that when you are networking, making friends, making connections, that those people appreciate you for who you are and that you're not being a different person around that person, if that makes sense. Now, I will say sometimes you don't have a choice. Okay. So let's be real. Like sometimes you go into a meeting and depending on who's at the head of that table, maybe you have to act different. And I don't mean it like in meetings and settings and stuff like that. I just meant like in your everyday life. It's really important just to go in there and be who you are. That way you don't ever have to put on a mask or, pretend that you're
Yeah.
somebody you're not. So 100% be yourself, do what you love, and surround yourself with really good people.
Yeah, I think I'm learning that now because I used to be a people pleaser and I was helping everyone. But then I discovered actually my life energy is very valuable and I need it for myself and not like overgiving that to a lot of people that will not give it back to me. Like some people are just users. Like let's be real here. So then I discovered then those people are like actually like taken from me, but there's like not mutual relationship is not there. So yeah, so I discovered like I lost a lot of friends. I did like a deep cleaning in my like close environment, and now I have only those friends that like nurture me, that give me joy in my life, that make me smile, that make me feel like I'm a beautiful, I don't know, smart person, and not like they're like brown nosing me or whatever. They're like really genuinely like they like me, you know. So if you have to be surrounded by people that are like false and like fake and I don't know, have like a secret agenda, it will drain you so much. And I can attest to that. You don't have any energy for yourself at the end of the day if you are going to like yeah, keep those people in your life and like try to like make them happy, because those people are like never happy. Like so, what I learned in life is you have to act in a way that you will be happy first, and you'll be like I don't know, in love with yourself, and I don't know, feeling fulfilled and happy in your life, and then you will like your cup will be full and overflowing, and then you can give to other people, because not because you want them to like you, but because you genuinely want to help them. And that's, I think, how how it should be. I don't know, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but that's what I learned, and it just like I don't know, works with me. And yeah, very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I mean, you got to love yourself first, right? Before, you can love anybody else. I feel that. I get that. I'm also, when you said surround yourself with people who make you feel good. I mean, I do that to a fault almost, to where like if you don't, then I don't even stay in the conversation. Like I'll just like walk away because like I'm like, this isn't working for me. Or like if I see you at a conference, just for everybody in the chat who sees me in a conference, and you're not excited to see me, like if you're just like, oh hey, then I'm like, okay, hi, and then I just keep going.
Bye.
I expect like a smile, a high five, something,
Huggies.
or a hug. But if you're just like, hey, I'm just like, all right, I can't do this. I can't do this right now. No.
Yeah, look, yeah, because I only like I think you are the same, but I used to have like energy for everything, but now I only have my energy for fuck yes energy. But anything less of that is like, yeah, hard pass. No, thank you. Yeah, not excited about this. Busy. Okay, my next question is: are there any exciting projects or initiatives on the horizon that we can look forward to? Like, yeah, like what you
Yeah,
can
two
share.
things. One, we're going to do, and I know that you guys have followed me on LinkedIn. Some of you who follow me on LinkedIn have seen this, but we're going to do an all ladies panel next year. I'm still looking for a date. It's probably going to be late February, early March, which now, in case you guys weren't aware, is very close. It's mid-December. I mean, it's so crazy that like the year is
Yeah.
almost gone already. So we're going to do the ladies panel, and Dr. Jerry Ozier has said that we could use his Firesides chat spot on YouTube, which is great because he has such an amazing audience. So, really excited to get that panel together. We had a really great meeting with all of my new friends. Um, and so, we'll have some of those ladies on next year. And then I'm also launching a podcast where season one will just be focused on the ladies, and highlighting some of their accomplishments and achievements, and I kind of want it to be more like real conversations, like not just like, what do you do? And, where are you speaking next? Not those kind of questions, but like really like deeper level kind of conversations, and kind of just see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and actually wanted to thank you for inviting me to that to that environment of smart amazing women, because yeah, I'm like a bit like on the side, but I missed, I don't really have like female friends, like not a lot of them, so it was like amazing for me to be surrounded with. Yeah,
Yeah, it
thank
was
you
fun.
again.
That was like such an energy, like I don't know, like I just felt so good after that call.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like, wow, like I've been like really missing out. That's why I wrote like a very honest post afterwards. Like, man, I've been really like just missing out on having women in cyber like more conversations like that. All the guys that are in the chat, you guys are awesome. Like, I always say they're my biggest fans, like, and some of my closest friends. But um, I think it's because my personality. Like, I love sports. I love to drink beer. I love to go to sports bars. Like, I just seem to like gravitate to hanging out with guys or whatever. But there are a lot of cool ladies that I've just kind of missed out on. because I just haven't taken the time to do it. So that's like one of my goals for 2026, is to put myself out there more and surround myself with people, intelligent people, people who are better than me, people that'll lift me up. And then in return, I have a chance to lift them up. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be cool.
Yeah. High five.
High five.
Yeah, I want to do something like that too. Maybe network a bit more. It's a big, yeah, it's going to be exciting. Okay, my next question is a bit from the, I don't know, a different barrel. I'm going to close up slowly, so I only have like 7 questions. If you weren't working in Katy Chambers Media LLC, what do you think you'd be doing instead?
Well, so if you
If you're
said like
like,
what
you
would
could choose anything and you know
oh,
you'd be
choose
supported.
anything.
Yeah.
I would be an actress. Like 100%, I would want to be an actress for like TV series like you see on Netflix. That would be like a dream, not really yeah, like a real dream job, not like a dream job I'm gonna get, but like a dream job. I would want to be an actress. A more realistic thing would be working in network news and doing like special programming for like CNN or something. That would be more realistic if I wasn't in Kathy Chambers Media. Yeah.
But like, I'm just thinking, like, maybe, like, bear with me. Like, what do you think about the idea of just going to, like, one of two or two, like, how do you call those? Like, meetings when you read the script for a role. Like, what do you think?
Oh, like an
Maybe you
audition?
could, yeah, like an audition. Maybe you could do it.
Maybe. Who knows? I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, it's your life, right?
Okay, so I'll change it. If there were auditions close to me that I didn't have to like fly out of state for, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it, Dorota. If there's ever some kind of movie auditions near me, yep.
Yeah, okay. Let's go. Okay, I'm excited now. Okay, my next question is, if you could go back in time and give your younger self a piece of advice, what would it be? You can choose anything, private or professional thing, like whatever you want.
um, wow, what would it be? I think that I've really focused on one thing, and we tell people that in cybersecurity. So I'm kind of like, I know not to be hypocritical, but in cyber we say like, don't try to learn 5 different things, right? You're gonna pick one path, right? You can try it all when you're starting out, but then eventually you need to narrow it down. You need to pick one path, and you just stay on that path. Well, I did that with local news. So local news, just for those listening, local news is like your local TV stations, right? Whatever your coverage area is, that's local news. And then national news is like CNN, CBS, NBC. That's like the big networks. I was so focused on local news because that's where my heart was. So focused on it that I never thought outside the box. Like, this is what I was going to do. This is what I was going to be. And I was going to go from city to city to city. And I was going to keep moving up in market sizes. And I was eventually going to be an executive producer in New York City. Like, I feel like too focused on that. If I, in my younger years, would have been like more, like, tried more things and thought, well, what if I go over here? And what if I do this? And if you look at my resume, you're like, God, you've done a lot. And I feel like I could, to your point of like wanting to always learn more, I feel like I could have done more. Yes, I did a lot, but what else could I have done? Like, so I think I would have just tried more things and tried, different areas and tried to go to network and try, like, I would have just done more of, I don't know when I would have had time to do more, but I would have tried more things for sure. Yeah. So I encourage everybody to try something else. Like, so, which brings me to another thing. There are a lot of people who have tried to get into cyber and they can't break in. And I always say, like, you got to pay your bills. You got to pay your bills. Like, you can't get to the point where you are struggling so much. Like, try something else, but keep learning cyber. Like, go get a job somewhere else, but keep studying cyber until your time comes. There's nothing wrong with that. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with getting another job to pay the bills but your true passion, cyber. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like right now, while I'm trying to build up my client base, right? Like it's happening, but very slowly, right? So I will probably have to get some little side job, right? Until I build up my client list. And I don't even feel bad about it because to me, that's just reality. That's just the world we live in. So, yeah, 100%. Like, I think people are they start to feel so bad and so down on themselves because they can't get their dream position. I think we just need to snap out of it, like get a job, but then like I said, just keep studying on the side until your time comes, because your
Yeah,
time will come. You will
definitely.
get it. It's just being at the right place, right time. It matters who you know. And the more you talk to people and the more you build up your network and the more you go to like the local B-sides, the better your chances will be.
Yeah, and sometimes it's also like if you cannot get through the door, maybe a window is open, right? So if you cannot get like straight into cyber, maybe you can start to work as a, I don't know, help desk, and then learn and like slowly move up, or s- find a job, like find a company that has cyber related jobs but only hire for something else right now, and so get the something else job and then ask them if you could change the department. And that's pretty much maybe not in a way but something like I did. uh, I first started in the Netherlands as a security analyst, but then I moved kind of like branches into the same company, but for the cybersecurity, for a role of pen tester. So it's also, like also it's possible. So be smart.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. That goes back to having confidence, like that
Yeah,
goes back
that's
to,
fair.
um, I have so many stories, Dorota. So I'm gonna tell another story before we go. Which, by the way, I was really worried we weren't gonna be able to fill 2 hours. Apparently, I have enough stories for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Um, so I had a very defining moment in my career, and it was I don't remember the year, but I was working for Fox TV station in Indianapolis. And at the time, hopefully things have changed, but at the time, I guess I probably wasn't very mature. I was younger, and it was a very toxic environment. Nobody was ever happy. The bosses weren't happy. The anchors weren't happy. Like, nobody was happy. And so, like, every day was just miserable. And about a year and a half in, I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I can't do it anymore. I cannot just keep coming to work like this. And so I was like, I got to get out of here. How am I going to get out of here? And so I'm looking online and I find this article, and it's like just a little snippet article. And it says, new sports TV station opening up in Columbus, Ohio. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. And I couldn't find anything else about it. It was just going to be a local sports TV station, and it was opening up in Columbus. And that's literally like all the article was. And I was like, huh, I wonder who's doing this. So there's no website. I can't find a website. I can't find anything. Finally, I find a number, just like a random number listed. And I was like, I'm going to call this number. Like this, I'm just like, I got to get out of here. I'm going to call this number. So I call the number, and the lady's like, I said, hey, I am looking for the director of, it's called Columbus Sports Network. I'm looking for the director of Columbus Sports Network. And she says, oh, well, we don't even have a studio yet. Like, we don't even have a building. Like, we're just in talks right now. I said, okay, cool. Who's the director? And she gave me the director's name. And I said, can I have his phone number? And she's like, yeah, sure. So she gives me his phone number. Like, you know, this is before I even knew what social engineering was. Apparently, I'm like really good at it. So anyway, she gives me his phone number, and I call him and I'm like, hey, I'm Kathy. I'm a TV news producer in Indianapolis. I just read this little article that you guys are like starting your own TV station in sports. And he's like, yeah. And I said, can you tell me about it? So he tells me about it. And I said, I'm off tomorrow. You want to meet? And he's like, what? And I said, I'm off tomorrow. Do you want to meet up? And he's like, I guess. I said, okay, cool. I'll be there at 3. So like I like said like I set up my oown interview. Like he had no idea who I was. So I set up my own interview and I go, okay. And so like I
I
go
love
to
it.
this interview. And once again, they didn't have a building. They had some production trucks. And so he was showing me the production trucks and like introducing me to people. And we get through the interview and I get back in the car and I start heading. It's like a 5-hour drive. I start heading back to Indianapolis. And before I think I was 30 minutes outside of Columbus and I got a phone call from him and he offered me a job. And then after I got the job, he introduced me as this is Kathy. She hired herself. That's how he introduced me. And it was like this very like just eye opening moment that at that point I could hire myself. Like I could literally go to people and say, this is who I am. When can we meet? And like, I've been doing that ever since. That's how I get, like, everybody's like, how do you get your jobs? I was like, I just call people. And they're like, oh, when people are like, oh, don't call, like, make sure that you go through this person or go through this person. I'm like, nope. Who's the hiring manager? Who are they? So anyway, I like always joke like that I hired myself and that was like a defining moment in my career that I realized, wow, I could hire myself. This is so flipping cool. And so anyway, it hasn't always worked. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but I would say I'm probably at like an 85, 90% success rate of hiring myself. So it's been
That's
cool.
cool. For
Yeah.
me, it was asking. I'm sometimes asking questions in a very spontaneous way without thinking, and most of the time, those questions were something that got me hired or like gave me an amazing opportunity. So yeah, I'm not going to filter my questions because they're obviously I'm doing something right here and people are like resonating with that. So that's an amazing story, and I just made a note because that's actually right. That's how life works. Why? And what I discovered in my first job, I was like waiting for them to notice me. I was working for 3 people, and I was like, oh, why they don't give me a promotion and why they don't notice me? Like I'm working so hard, but like I had a friend in the same department that was going to drink coffee with directors. That was like advertising how amazing she is at her job to everyone, and so she got promoted really fast. So that's how I learned how you do it, like not sit there being like the gray mouse, like hoping that someone will like notice you, go into your basement and like, oh hi, maybe you want a job, but just advertise yourself and like tell everyone you're amazing, show like step out of the shadows and yeah, be, I don't know, you're already amazing, but just tell people, like that's, I think that's how
Yeah,
it
well, because
works.
sometimes people don't know, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm in that like this is like a very like honest moment. Like I am in that stage right now. So I have just started launching my own company, but I have not produced in a really long time. So I don't have any like new work to show yet. So right now I'm trying to convince people who have no idea who I am that they should hire me to like be a producer, right? And so I kind of like going backwards, and I'm like, ugh, because there's a lot of people who know, but there's so many people who don't know. But it's like a sales job, right? It's a numbers game. So it's not going to work every time you talk to somebody, but eventually you reach enough people, you're going to get a yes. And so that's where I am right now. It's just like, oh, I just wish they knew I was awesome.
Yeah, but also like
They don't know yet.
how it works sometimes when you like pitch, I don't know, pitch yourself to someone, and then at the first day you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe no, and then but they remember you, no, you made like an impression, and then 6 months ahead or like 1 year ahead, oh, I need that person, oh, I remember her, she was amazing, so maybe they will contact you later. So yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
never
just need
know.
everybody to think like you do, Doretta. Like I need everybody to think like I'm so amazing.
Yeah, you're like one of the best people in the industry that I know. It's like you're so awesome. It's like I'm so happy I can talk to you right now. It's like okay, let's focus here. My next question is, what's something you're passionate about that most people don't know?
Oh wow. Goodness. Uh, I don't know. Where they say that don't make what is that saying when they say don't make yourself your job? Don't What's that saying? Anybody in chat help me? Like it's not don't let your job define who you are or something. There's I don't know. There's something like that. I totally do that. Like I totally my job defines me like 100%. Like that's like who I am. That's what I'm passionate about. Like talking to people, making content, writing, producing, like that's who I am. I would say I talked about sports a little bit. I used to really be into sports prior to getting married and having kids, but now my kids play sports and I am 100% the soccer mom, baseball mom on the sidelines, traveling out of the city every weekend to go to a game. And there are people who are like, oh, I can't believe you do that. I can't believe like every weekend you're gone. And I love it. My husband loves it. Like, I mean, it's so cool. It's so cool seeing your kids out there. Like I'm passionate for them, you know? Like to them it's just fun. They're hanging out with their friends, they're doing sports they love, but to me it's like it's just a really cool moment. So I think I'm all about youth sports. That's my passion right now.
I love that. Uh, can I add something from myself? Because I
Yeah,
make
sure, of
I
course.
it's like maybe what I think maybe first like conversation with someone where like I'm taking notes all the time, like I'm talking with you and like taking notes. Like you're so smart. I'm blown away here. But like you said, don't let your job define you, and I discovered that a while ago. That Yeah, I had a conversation with someone that is important to me, and he was hinting that maybe I shouldn't be a pen tester. And at first, I took it like very personally because what I discovered, I made it my whole personality that I'm a pen tester, and it's like if I think like who is Dorota, she's a pen tester. She's like first thing that comes into my mind. But actually, when I started thinking about it, it's like not true. And saying that I'm a pen tester is like lowballing myself so much because I'm so much more than that. I'm a red teamer. I'm a physical pen testing specialist. I'm a specialist in social engineering. I'm also a podcast host. I'm a public speaker. I'm a content creator. I don't know. I'm a cheese lover. I like all those things. So it's like Dorota is like if I say I'm a pen tester, it's like the word Dorota is like huge and the pentester is like really tiny, but it's like it makes no sense, you know? It doesn't really compute. So pentester is like it's only my job. It's like one of those things, but it's like who I am. Like I'm Dorota. So it's like
Yeah.
all there is to know there.
I think it's also okay to I think also it's okay to like more than one thing and to do more
Yeah,
than one thing and I think a lot of people have a hard time with that. They're like, I have to do this one thing really well, and this is all I'm going to do, and that's silly. Like I like to do a lot of things well, and then I think it's okay to allow yourself to have more than one passion and a lot. Right, the only time the only time I am not thinking about work is when I'm at my kids' games. Like I don't think about work because I'm like so into that in that moment. And I think that's okay. I'll think about work when I get home, right?
yeah.
Which whatever. I'll think about work on Monday. But Saturday and Sunday, that's a whole other Kathy, right? That's the mom side. But I'm very much the same way with my kids as I am with you guys. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm not like a super strict parent. I know it drives my husband crazy. But yeah, I that's a different Kathy I'm a different Kathy on the weekends than I am through the week.
But I appreciate you saying that actually because it made me feel really special. Oh, okay, I'm going to wrap up now. So I have 5 questions. What is your favorite hacker movie? Do you have one?
So I wasn't in cyber when all the good hacker movies came out, but I really loved Mr. Robot, and that was before that came out before I was into IT hacker because it's a kick-ass show. Great storyline. So yeah, Mr. Robot for sure.
It was actually the show that was like slap in the face and reminded me, oh, you wanted to be, a, like the hacker slash programmer person. So start learning, I guess, So
It was a sign.
yeah, it was a sign, definitely. What is your favorite food or dish?
Spaghetti. But hands down, I can have spaghetti like 3 times a day. There's 2 things I love for everybody who needs to know or wants to know. If you offer to take me out for spaghetti, you're at the top of my list. Or if you buy me a Diet Coke. Not Coke, not Coke Zero, not Pepsi, Diet Coke. It's a terrible addiction, but we all got our
Yeah,
things.
what can you do? I discovered a French cheese like a year ago, and I gained so much weight, but no regrets here because it's amazing. It's so tasty. Okay, I get excited when I talk about food. My apologies. My apologies. Do you have a question for me?
Yeah, I think that um not long ago we talked, right? And you were talking about um doing some more of your own things, like maybe not a B-sides, but maybe something similar or bringing people together. Is that like still on your list? Are you still wanting to do something like that? Or what is next for Woman in Red? Like what would you like to do outside of what you're already doing?
Oh, I want to produce more content. For sure, I want to like uplift this podcast. I think it could be like still a bit better quality than it is now. So I'm going to work on that as well. Uh, and I'm going to go organize a conference. It's going to be besides Białystok actually. So it's besides, right? But I'm still talking with the technical university in my city, getting all the ducks in a row, and it's really exciting thing for me because they already like have all the things like in place that I would have to like create myself. So it's like
Oh,
half of the job is done if they go and be co-organizers with me. So that's like amazing, and hopefully a lot of people will come and like maybe new jobs or like some opportunities to the very smart people in my region will like yeah open after that conference. Like that's what is my point with this. But yeah, I have a lot of plans for myself, so much that I have to have like a Kanban board because I have so many ideas that it's like one idea comes in and the other one comes out. So I have to note them down, and I'm going to work slowly on like building like Women in Red and like sharing knowledge. Like I want to also like start a blog. I already created the blog, but it doesn't look well yet, so it's not online. But I just want to create a blog where I'm sharing my like knowledge of social engineering, and also with like angle that other people should know about, like other like ladies should know about how they get like manipulated even in relationships, even like dating environment, and like to recognize when you're being gaslighted, like all those stuff. So I just want to create like a resource for people to educate themselves and like be wary and like not get in trouble. And so yeah, if you get more knowledgeable about the topic, then obviously you like yeah, okay, this is happening. I recognize because I read it there. So I
right.
hope,
Yeah.
I don't know, if that would happen and like help one person, that I'm really happy, because yeah, that's I want to give not yeah, because yeah, I feel that I have so much knowledge, and yeah, I have a lot to offer. So I just want to give, and hopefully some of the ideas that I have will like yeah, give me also money in return, because I'm like doing everything for free for now, and I also have like two cats, and I have to buy food for them and like for myself. So yeah, hopefully in the future it will be like also like money sort of flowing, but I'm not doing that like and that in mind like per se right now.
Yeah, that
So yeah, I
that
hope that answers your question.
yeah, no, that's you have a lot on your plate. That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
I before we go, I do want to say that when I started Kathy Chambers Media, I had a lot of people reach out about community initiatives, like giving back. And so my way of giving back, just so everybody knows, is one is the podcast, and the panel discussions will be my way of giving back in like 2026. I have had other people contact me about things. And to be honest, like I don't mean this to sound like I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but like I have to pay my bills. And there are so many hours in a day. So I really wish I could take everybody every time somebody asks me to help with something on a volunteer basis. I really wish I could do it. It's just not a reality right now. But I hope at some point I'm in the position that my company's set, I'm successful. I have a couple people who work for me or work with me, and then I can start doing more, giving back more. But I have to be very selective next year on how much time I give back. But I'm trying. I'm trying to do the best I can.
But also like I thought about like building value, you know. So if you give your time and your energy and I don't know your skills for free, then also like people think, oh, maybe it's not so valuable as if you would say, okay, I only have time on the 31st of January at 3 p.m. and I only have 1 hour for you, and then you will have to pay me for that time. I don't know the certain amount. So then the person would think, "Oh, she's really important. Like she's so busy. I have to make the most out of this time." I don't know. What do you think? Does that
I
work this
think
way?
it depends. Yeah, I think it depends on where you are in your career. How long you've been established. I think that would be a tough sell for me right now, but at some point, if I am to that, if I'm there, I think people would see that. I think right now I'm just kind of starting out, so maybe I don't know. That's tough for me to be like,
Yeah.
you have 1 hour for me and then you got to pay me. I I
Yeah.
guess it depends on I guess it depends on the person, right? And the situation. I think there's just a lot of things to that question. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just like, yeah. I don't know if I have the audacity to say it that way to someone, but yeah, maybe someday. Okay. I have two last questions. So, any stories do you want to share, or any words at the end that you want to share?
Um no, I feel like I've been talking a lot. Oh, Kimberly, you're so sweet. She said we could both do that. I think it depends on the situation, Kimberly. Like I think it depends. Yeah, 100%. I've already had to tell a couple of people no in the past couple of days asking me to help out at conferences and stuff. Um, I just and one, to be honest, I can't afford it. Like so everybody went to Cyber Marketing Con, right? Which is it's a conference I should have been to. I should have been there, especially for launching my company. Like I should have been there. But like I could get a ticket for free, but I couldn't get there. Like I had to get a hotel and a flight. And unless I start a GoFundMe account, I'm not getting there right now. I was like, it's just little things like that. Like, yes, I would love to come to your conference and I would love to be there. I need you to pay for it. Well, we can't pay for it. Okay, cool. I can't come. So that's that's like where I am right now. But I hope next year that I'm in a better place and I'm like Dorota and I'm getting invited to speak places. So we'll see.
Yeah, but like if you get accepted from Call of Papers, then you can ask them, yeah, but do you pay for transportation and yeah, lodgings, like at the
Yeah,
hotel?
yeah.
So yeah, I paid for most of the conferences I went for like myself, but then I learned, okay, I have to be smarter about it because I'm like, my savings are almost gone. So
Yeah, yeah. It's different when you have a job. Like I even wrote a post
yeah,
about it. I was like, when I had a job, the job paid for me to go to conferences. Now I'm on my own. Nobody's paying for it. So I got to be like really smart. Like I'm for sure going to Wildless Hacking Fest next year, and that'll be on my own dime. Like, but I know that, and I have like the time to save up for that. But I can't just go for fun anymore. I have to be really smart about it. So at least
yeah.
for right now. When I'm all rich and successful, then we'll be talking about all the places I'm flying for fun. So,
Fingers crossed for that to happen very, very soon.
oh, thank
Uh,
you. Thank you.
okay, so do you want to share anything at the end?
No,
Any
I mean,
golden thoughts?
no, I mean, I feel like I've shared a lot. Just please keep an eye on LinkedIn in 2026, all the cool things that are happening that I'm going to be launching. And a lot of you who are in the chat support me already. So thank you for that. And just spread the word and spread the love. And I'll keep giving back as much as I can.
Yeah, and thank you for that. Thank you for coming to my podcast and for like agreeing. It's a huge honor for me actually because I really love you and you're amazing. And you're so inspiring, and you brought so much of positive energy to all of us. And yeah,
I love you too. Thank you.
yeah,
It's awesome being here. It's great. I could talk forever. Once again, I was so worried about the 2 hours. I don't know why.
yeah. It just
We
like
went
flew
we went
by.
way past it.
So I'm going to wave now and just thank you everyone for coming, and like bye.
Bye guys. See you next time.